Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Earlier today, I did a story about Shirley Ann Somerville and indicated that she's not the brightest button in the box. Indeed, she's not as bright as Shona Robison, and Robison, as we know, has an IQ of 86. Well, we're going to see here an example of how stupid Shona Robison is. She doesn't want to have a debate about fiscal frameworks. And the reason she's claiming is that it's too technical and it's, too complex for her to understand. And so strangely thinks that because she's incapable of understanding it, everyone else would be totally incapable of understanding it too. Oh, the sheer hubris of it all. Imagine being so stupid you think other people are as stupid as you. It's like, you don't realise how stupid you are. Well, we'll take a look at this to show how amazingly stupid Shona is and how amazingly uncomplicated things can be if they're explained in a simple way. It's not hard. Well, it is if you're stupid. Let's have a look and see the wonderful, crazy, mixed up world of Shona Robison and the world of very hard thinks. Here goes. Now, I do say that she's got an IQ of 86, and I mean, I'm being generous. She is, by all accounts, a bit of a moron. She's not bright. And so, obviously, when you go through life and you're not that bright, a lot of things are hard. Things that most people, average people, get on with quite simple. Even people who are slightly above average can do amazing things in Shona Robinson's world. When not everyone can do sort of, I don't know, what would you say, differential calculus in their heads. I couldn't now, but back in the day when I was studying, maths and that, I could do that. Now, I'm not saying everyone can. I'm not bigging myself up and saying it. What I'm saying is, conceptually, people can see, most normal people can see, how with a little bit of training, you can do some fairly complicated mathematics in your head. For Shona Robinson, it's like magic. It's how on earth can you do that? Anything sufficiently complex enough is indistinguishable from magic. So saith Arthur C. Clarke. But for Shona Robinson, the world must be like Hogwarts. All these things happening that are completely inexplicable because she has no concept on how anything works. And that is why she's saying that it's too technical to debate fiscal frameworks. We'll have a look at this. It is astounding how this woman has risen to deputy leader when she's quite incapable of tying her own shoelaces. Astonishing, Shona Robison thought fiscal framework would be too technical to debate. The Deputy First Minister complained about the UK government giving more powers to Scotland so that it can borrow more cash. And she was blasted by opposition critics. So this is a woman who constantly wants more power for Scotland, more power for the SNP. The UK government give them that, offer them that. And because it's a bit hard, she is complaining about how hard it is. Wow. And they want this woman as the deputy leader, and they want this woman to run the Scottish economy. I'm lost for words there. I literally cannot get that into my head. And I'm not kidding. I'm bright. And I cannot get that level of complexity and stupidity meshed together. How can you desire more power and when handed it go, oh, it's too hard and too complex, we don't want it, and still maintain your position? Astounding, isn't it? Anyway, Deputy First Minister Shona Robison was labelled astonishing over her claims that the fiscal framework would be too technical for MSPs to debate. She's assuming that everyone else in that chamber is as stupid as she is. And let me tell you, Shona, no one is as stupid as you are, with the possible exception of Shirley Ann Somerville. The issue was discussed at Holyrood on Wednesday after the new deal was signed between the Scottish and UK governments in August. The fiscal framework is the arrangement between the two administrations which decide how much funding Scotland gets. The latest adaptation of it allows SNP members to borrow double the amount of money to spend on day-to-day budgets, as it hiked the limit to £600 million a year. Following me so far? I don't think that's hard. We're offering you a new thing. It's 600 million a year. It's double what we was. You only got to just follow a few little rules, but you're going to get double the money. Hey, okay, that's not hard. Let's have a discussion. But not Shona. Oh no, look, these rules are really complex. Oh. The fiscal framework. Oh, well, I've literally just done that bit. Sorry. Hollywood spending. I tell you what, I get sidetracked. I go away. I come back. Like, oh, forget where I was. It's so done. But that's because I'm dealing with Shona Robison. It's almost as though her stupidity is coming through the screen as I'm reading it and hitting mine. I can almost feel my perspicacity and intelligence evaporating away while I look at her stupid face. Anyway, Hollywood. Sorry. Holyrood spending powers for capital projects like schools and transport infrastructure will now rise in line with inflation. Seems fair. With Westminster continuing to top up the Scottish Government's tax revenues, which was worth £1.4 billion last year. Remember, this is the same Westminster that doesn't give Scotland anything if you listen to the SNP. They gave them 1.4 billion last year. That's over and above the Barnett. This is the excess stuff over and above the Barnett money. But apparently Westminster don't give the SNP anything at all. What the hell are they doing with it? Anyway, the deal also removes limits on how much can be drawn from the Scotland's reserves to spend on future years. I think that could be dangerous, possibly. Certainly while the SNP are in power. Anyway, this was debated at the Scottish Parliament with opposition MSPs criticising Miss Robison as she took the opportunity to complain about the new deal. So they're offered a lot more money and she's complaining about it. This is despite previously welcoming it as a finely balanced agreement that gives us some extra flexibility to deal with unexpected shocks. So you're doubling the budget and you're giving them the power to draw down out of reserves that you previously couldn't do without Westminster approval. You can now do it directly. As far as I can see, there's nothing to be complaining about here. I mean, am I being dumb? Or is that not a good deal? Who knows? She claimed, however, this is where we get to the nub of the matter. She claimed that the framework cannot protect Scotland from the UK government's austerity-driven budget decisions and called for the UK government spending plans for 24-25 to be urgently revisited. What? You've just been given double the money and you're complaining that there wasn't enough. What is wrong with you? And you're complaining that, the Westminster may make decisions that affect Scotland. Yes, it always was thus. That was the whole point. Weird, isn't it? It's weird how she doesn't get this. The SNP were criticised for the secretive way they act when it comes to spending taxpayer cash. Say it ain't so. Secretive? The SNP? Whoa, shudder the thought. And for its previous actions prior to the debate. The Scottish Labour finance spokesman Michael Marra, he there, claimed that the deal was rushed out during the summer recess and that the government tried to schedule a debate in September before the Finance Committee had even had the opportunity to discuss it. Yeah, let's quick whiz it through. Let nobody ever look and see what's happening because, hey, maybe they might find out how snide and sneaky and sleek it we are. Oh, shudder the thought. He said, why is this government so desperate to avoid genuine scrutiny that Labour would like to see? Deleting WhatsApps, forgetting meetings, refusing to reform freedom of information. Said even today it's suing the Information Commissioner, which was yesterday obviously only the Information Commissioner won. Boom, fantastic result. The Deputy First Minister, he said, told the Finance and Public Administration Committee that she did not think there'd be a public debate over the fiscal framework because, and I quote, he says, and this is her words, it's quite technical. Meaning she didn't understand it. He says, I find that quite astonishing. Like so much else in the SNP's tenure, NHS waiting lists, school attainment lists, and this one has been filed in the too difficult to deal with pile because you're dealing with morons. They can't understand complex issues. It's beyond their ability. Granted, he said it's not a vote winner like tax freezes or free bikes and laptops, but good governance... None of those three things have happened. Yeah, nobody got their free bike, nobody got their laptops, and that tax freeze hasn't happened yet, and may yet not happen. They're having a meeting today, that emergency cabinet committee today, to see what they've got to do in terms of tax hold your breath, because I tell you what, it's going to be a long plunge into your pocket on this one. Anyway, this updated fiscal framework gives Scotland more borrowing powers, and the SNP frequently claim they're powerless in this parliament to deal with the situation they find themselves in. They've now been handed the golden goose, really, and they're still moaning because it's a bit difficult. He concluded by claiming that this is a government that is in crisis and out of its depths. It's making it up as it goes along. It's caught in a maelstrom of its own scandal, gaffes and controversies. What an excellent and accurate description. Well done, Mr. Michael Mara. I completely agree. Scot Lib Dem leader Alex Cole-Hamilton pointed out that the framework gives the Scottish Government more flexibility and more power than ever. But that hasn't stopped the SNP blaming Westminster more than ever. They keep moaning. Westminster isn't doing it. Westminster isn't giving us money. And they've just been given an amazing amount of money. And have in the past. Billions. And they've got nothing to show for it. Because you get IQs like that. 86. Hasn't got a clue. And doesn't want a discussion. Because it's a bit hard. And they can't get a tiny, tiny, minuscule brain around complex issues. Heavens to Betsy. It is no wonder why Scotland's in the state it is when you've got people as obviously stupid as that making decisions. For heaven's sake, do something. I'm coming up. Do you know, I think I've been overly kind to Shona Robison. For a long time now, I've been calling her a moron. And I think, no, she just deserved to go down a rung. I think she's definitely a cretin. There is no other way. Anyone that stupid, not even a moron, she can aspire to one day perhaps work hard and become a moron. But until then, she remains with the cretins. And she's in charge of the finances. Unbelievable, isn't it? Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Have I worried you, children? Have I worried you? Are you sitting there looking at your country and realising the kind and the calibre of people in charge? Frightening, isn't it? Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.